For 5 days since the solar eclipse, the moon has been in the graceful, diplomatic, peace-seeking signs. First Virgo, tending the practical details. Then Libra, sorting the relationships, balancing the scales, asking who belongs in the new chapter with the specific, gentle discernment of someone who prefers harmony to disruption. And tonight, the moon crossed into Scorpio. The atmosphere changed the moment it happened. If you have been feeling it, a subtle but unmistakable shift in the emotional weather, something heavier and more urgent underneath the ordinary surface of the day, a sense that something you have been managing rather than feeling is no longer willing to stay managed, that is the Scorpio moon arriving, and it is arriving with specific intention. In the eclipse season, between the total solar eclipse on August 12th and the partial lunar eclipse in Pisces on August 28th, every planetary movement carries amplified weight. And the moon entering Scorpio 6 days after the most significant Leo eclipse since 2019 is not ordinary Scorpio moon energy. It is Scorpio doing what it does best inside an active eclipse portal. It is surfacing what the eclipse buried, not the things the eclipse released, what it buried. The seed it planted in the darkness of totality at 20 degrees Leo, the genuine identity, the heart-led expression, the not-performed authentic self, that seed went underground on August 12th and has been growing invisibly ever since. And Scorpio, the sign that knows better than any other how to navigate the underground, how to read what is growing in the dark, how to bring to the surface what is ready to be known. Scorpio is here now to give you the first genuine sense of what the eclipse planted. Welcome to Twilight of Wisdom. The moon is in Scorpio. Something deep is surfacing. And tonight I want to make sure you understand what it is and what to do with it when it arrives. What Scorpio does that no other sign can. Scorpio has a reputation for intensity and mystery and the kind of emotional depth that makes some people want to change the subject. But underneath that reputation is something that is genuinely, irreplaceably valuable, especially inside an eclipse season. Scorpio is the sign of the underground, of what operates beneath the surface of what is visible and presentable and managed, of the emotional truth that has been running below the level of conscious awareness, shaping decisions and relationships and creative choices from underneath, without being acknowledged or addressed or even fully known. And Scorpio's gift, the one that makes it the most powerful sign for eclipse season navigation, is that it cannot tolerate the distance between the surface story and the underground truth. It will not sit with managed surfaces. It presses, it probes, it keeps pointing at the thing underneath the thing until the thing underneath the thing is finally, directly, honestly addressed. In a post-eclipse window, this is extraordinary, because the eclipse planted something at the identity level, something deeply true about who you actually are, what you genuinely want, what your heart-led Leo expression actually looks like when the performance is removed. And that planting happened underground, in the invisible, in the specific eclipse darkness that seeds require. And Scorpio tonight is the first sign since the eclipse that is genuinely equipped to reach that depth, to feel what is growing there, to bring from the underground to the surface the first real sense of what the eclipse actually planted in you, not as a concept, not as a spiritual intention, but as an emotional truth that is alive in your body and ready to be known. What surfaces tonight under the Scorpio moon will be real. More real than anything the Libra moon's graceful sorting offered. More real than the Virgo moon's practical tending suggested. The raw, unmanaged, this is what is actually there truth of what the eclipse began in you. Let it surface. It has been waiting for this sign. If something specific is surfacing tonight, a feeling, a knowing, an emotional truth that has been present but not yet fully named since the eclipse, type, "It is surfacing," in the comments. You do not have to share what it is. Simply acknowledge that something is coming up. The Scorpio moon needs that acknowledgement to work with. What is most likely surfacing right now? Let me be specific about what the Scorpio moon in the post-eclipse window most commonly surfaces, because knowing what to expect helps you receive it rather than resist it. The first thing that surfaces is emotional honesty about your relationships. The Libra moon this week asked you to sort your relational world. Who belongs in the new chapter? Who was built for the old version? And you may have done that sorting intellectually, with Libra's aesthetic clarity and graceful discernment. But Scorpio goes deeper than intellectual sorting. It reaches the felt truth.
If you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe for daily cosmic insights, astrology updates, and spiritual guidance, because the universe always has a message for you.
The specific, bodily, this is what it actually feels like to be in this relationship truth that Libra's charm can sometimes smooth over. Tonight, under the Scorpio moon, you may feel more clearly than you have since the eclipse which relationships are genuinely nourishing and which are draining in ways you have been managing rather than addressing. That clarity is not comfortable. It is accurate. And accurate is more useful than comfortable when you are navigating an eclipse season that is specifically about releasing what is no longer genuinely aligned. The second thing that surfaces is the emotional truth of the eclipse itself. 6 days after the most significant identity reset of the decade, the Scorpio moon is asking, what did you actually feel when the sky went dark? Not the spiritual meaning you assigned to it afterward. Not the intentions you set or the declarations you made. What was the raw emotional experience? Was there grief alongside the relief? Fear alongside the liberation? The specific, Scorpio honest, this is what was actually in the room emotional reality of standing at the threshold of a new identity. If there is something under the post-eclipse positivity that has not yet been acknowledged, Scorpio is surfacing it tonight, not to undermine the eclipse, to complete it. Because unacknowledged feelings do not disappear. They operate underground, shaping the eclipse seed's growth from underneath. And bringing them to the surface tonight, naming them honestly in the Scorpio moon's willingness to hold difficult emotional truth, is the most powerful thing you can do for the seed's healthy growth. The North Node growth edge, what Scorpio is calling you toward. There is a specific and important astrological context to tonight's Scorpio moon that I want to make sure you understand. The North Node in Scorpio is the growth edge, representing depth, real intimacy, a larger meaning, and the willingness to let something genuinely transform. The eclipse season is pressing on this. It is a nudge to consciously choose the deeper path rather than the comfortable familiar. What does that mean in practice tonight? It means the Scorpio moon is not just surfacing what has been underground. It is showing you the specific depth that the eclipse was always trying to reach. The level at which the Leo identity reset is most genuinely, most permanently real, not the public-facing, well-articulated this is my eclipse intention level. The private, felt this is what is actually different in my body level. Real intimacy. Not the intimacy of shared spiritual experiences or aligned values, the intimacy of actually being known, of letting someone see the emotional reality of the eclipse season rather than the curated spiritual journey, of being fully present in your own experience rather than narrating it from a safe distance. The Scorpio moon tonight is the invitation to that depth. To drop beneath the surface presentation of who you are since the eclipse and make contact with the actual, felt, unglamorous, this is what is genuinely true, version of your eclipse experience. That depth is where the growth is. The North Node says so. And Scorpio, moving through the eclipse season, is the guide. What to do? Tonight, let it surface without managing it. The single most important instruction for the Scorpio moon tonight is also the hardest one for the spiritually attuned, meaning-seeking, always processing people in your audience. Do not manage what surfaces. Let it be what it is. Scorpio's surfacing process is not improved by the immediate assignment of meaning, by the rush to understand, categorize, or integrate what arrives, by the spiritual practice of immediately turning the difficult feeling into a lesson or the uncomfortable truth into a tool. That processing impulse, the one that reaches for the journal or the tarot deck or the affirmation the moment something difficult surfaces, is actually the management response. The way that the performer in you, even in its post-eclipse diminished state, tries to make the raw emotional truth more presentable. Tonight, let the Scorpio moon do its work without your editorial intervention. Let what surfaces be felt fully before it is understood. Let the emotional truth arrive in the body before it arrives in the mind. Let it be as uncomfortable as it actually is without the immediate impulse to make it more comfortable through meaning-making. That willingness to let something be fully felt before it is processed is the Scorpio growth edge in its most direct and most difficult form. And it is the most genuinely useful thing you can offer the eclipse seed tonight. Because what reaches the surface and is fully felt can be genuinely integrated. What reaches the surface and is immediately managed goes back underground, still unresolved, still shaping the seed's growth from underneath, still waiting for the Scorpio moon to surface it again. Let it surface, feel it fully. Trust that the meaning will arrive after the feeling has been genuinely received. 10 days to the lunar eclipse, Scorpio is preparing the ground. 10 days from now, on August 28th, the partial lunar eclipse in Pisces arrives. The sturgeon moon, the most emotionally compassionate, most spiritually open, most healing lunation of the month. And the Pisces lunar eclipse is going to illuminate what the Leo solar eclipse planted with the specific, feeling-based, body-knowing quality that Pisces brings to revelation. Not intellectual understanding, felt knowing. The emotional truth of what the eclipse actually changed in you, received in the most compassionate, most spiritually open way available. But Pisces can only illuminate what Scorpio has surfaced. The healing that Pisces offers on August 28th is only available to the depth that Scorpio reaches between now and then. And the Scorpio moon tonight, arriving 6 days after the eclipse, 10 days before the lunar eclipse, is the beginning of that surfacing. What you allow to come up tonight, and through the Scorpio moon's transit over the next 2.5 days, is what the Pisces lunar eclipse will meet with its healing waters on August 28th. The deeper and more honest the surfacing now, the more genuine and complete the Scorpio willingness to reach the raw emotional truth underneath the managed eclipse story, the more profound the Pisces healing that awaits. Scorpio digs, Pisces heals. And tonight, Scorpio has arrived to begin the excavation that the lunar eclipse will complete. Let it dig. The depth it reaches is the measure of the healing available on August 28th. Type "I claim it" in the comments and finish this sentence. What is surfacing for me under the Scorpio moon tonight is, write the honest Scorpio true version, not the spiritually presentable version. The actual, felt, this is what is genuinely here truth. The Scorpio moon holds what is real. The Pisces lunar eclipse in 10 days will heal what Scorpio surfaces tonight. Give it something genuine to work with. Share this with someone who has been feeling something they cannot quite name since the eclipse. Because the Scorpio moon tonight is giving everything that has been underground a path to the surface. Subscribe to Twilight of Wisdom because the first quarter moon in Scorpio arrives August 20th and the partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, the sturgeon moon, arrives August 28th. 10 days. The most healing lunation of the month is coming. Let Scorpio prepare the ground. Tonight, let it surface. Feel it fully. Do not manage it. The depth you allow now is the healing available on August 28th.